Good afternoon to all. I'm happy to be the part of the discussion today and to share some thoughts and challenges which we have in the finance area in the Magyar Telekom. And allow me to start with maybe something which is very much obvious. So namely, in the past 10 years, 20 years, actually the speed of digitization and automation in all the industries and also in our industry, in telecommunication industry, was really overwhelming. So if we could go to the next page, please. Practically what was happening, there were a lot of reinventions of different processes and the ways of operations. And also in the financial sector, if we look around and simply check what was happening, what we see, there were a lot of changes, for example, in the banking industry, and it puts a lot of pressure, obviously, on the perception of corporate finance as well. And actually, this change of the perception of corporate finance in Magyar Telekom was coming from the following challenges. First of all, the speed of digitization is really high. And here in the finance area as well, we need to adjust ourselves and to decide we want to be a winner or a loser. So we have to be more quick when it comes to digitization, and that's the big challenge. Second, also because of the digitization, some of the existing profiles, classical finance competencies, might not be needed in the future anymore. For example, we might need more data scientists, more people who have great communication skills, visualization skills, and classical controlling competencies might be not needed anymore in the future. That's the second challenge. Customers, and actually, who are the customers of the finance services when we come to, and we talk about the corporate finance? These are primarily business units. And also, these customers will require from the finance more advisory services instead of simple controlling analysis, because some of them will be performed automatically. So therefore, the business partnering and requirements of our customers will be increasing as well. That's the third challenge. Another one, which is rather specific for the Magyar Telekom itself, this is Agile Transformation. Some of you might know that Magyar Telekom decided to go for agile way of operation roughly 2 years ago. And slowly but surely, we are very good proceeding in reaching our goals there, but still we have different agile maturity levels in the company. That's the fourth challenge. Now, something which most probably can be considered as I call evergreen challenge, namely fragmented IT landscape, meaning it hinders us from further development. And last but not least, obviously, the scaling and full utilization of digital methods. So these are the 6 challenges which I had in front of me when I was observing how the finance operates in Magyar Telekom, and all this brought me to a conclusion that a holistic transformation when it comes to finance operations in Magyar Telekom is actually needed. So if we go to the next page, please. When it comes to the agile transformation of Magyar Telekom, which I mentioned just a second ago, we started this journey 2 years ago. And that was extremely challenging, but also inspiring journey where we're actually learning each and single day. And one of the main goals of the transformation, agile transformation, was, for example, to reduce the time to market and also to change the way of operations, how we are working together with each other, how support functions are working with business functions, and how we are actually able to deliver better customer experience. That was an extremely interesting journey and inspiring journey, but also it brought us to a conclusion that we need to challenge ourselves and question, is it really meaningful to transform 100% of the operations into the agile, or rather we should stick to some of the areas and some of them stay in a rather more classical model. And a good example of it could be, for example, monthly closing in accounting. Yeah. So I always say, as a customer, I would wish that the closing is running even without my involvement simply because everything is perfect. So practically, it means that we are proceeding really extremely well at Magyar Telekom with Agile Transformation because the regional targets are being delivered, but we also constantly have to question ourselves to which extent we really want to transform the organization completely to Agile, or leave a couple of teams working rather in a run mode and in run teams or in classical modes. So practically now, having said about a couple of words about Agile Transformation and go into the finance challenges, if we could kindly go to the next page, allow me to spend a couple of words about the finance transformation which kicked off in the Magyar Telekom. And it is based on the 7 main pillars. And these 7 pillars are constructed in sort of around 3 areas. The first is about people. And there's culture, upskilling, and organizational structure inside. The second element, the second layer, is about the processes. And there are automation and cost transformation pillar inside. And the third layer is about performance, business partner, and data governance. So these 7 pillars actually form the framework, sort of the fundament of the finance transformation in Magyar Telekom. I repeat it again: culture, upskilling, organizational structure, automation, cost transformation, business partnering, and data governance. So talking about culture, what we would like to ensure that in the finance unit, we have a culture which provides an environment where people can learn and develop further. I've mentioned that in the future, a different skill set will be required, but obviously our culture should support the self-development, should motivate and encourage people to go for the self-development, to learn new skills, to be competitive in the finance area also in the future. When it comes to the upskilling, and this very much linked to the culture, it's about continuous development of competitive competencies to meet future business needs, and also to have in the position and in the possession of the future-proof skill set. Organizational actually should support us to be more flexible and more forward-looking and adaptive to the future changes of the organization and support solving of the challenges I was mentioning before. When it comes to automation, actually the idea here is that we would like to leave the machines doing what they can do and to relieve some time and creativity for the professionals to develop them further and provide advisory services to the customers. When it comes to the cost transformation, obviously, we would like also in the finance area to be able to operate in a more efficient way and be the organizational unit in the whole company, which supports overall cost-efficient transformation in the company. Business partnering, that's about the customers. Our customers of the core finance, actually, these are business units. And we would like to help them, and we would like to help the company to navigate the company towards success, being a trusted advisor for the business and supporting the business. Last but not least, in the digital environment and in the area where the data is flying all over the world, let's say, it's extremely important to, on one hand, utilize this potential to be able to provide advisory services to our business, but on the other hand, to create the value by doing these activities. So these are the 7 pillars of our finance transformation, a certain framework which helps us to create a target operating model. When it comes to a target operating model on the next page, we actually had a certain logic behind and were thinking and envisioning what would be the key roles, finance roles in the future. Will it be the same than now or will they be different? And the idea here is that the future target operating model of the corporate finance should be built based on 4 main roles: finance governance, business partnering, production area, and data science. So what is the goal of finance governance? Practically in this world where the data is very important, it is on the other hand extremely relevant and important to have very clear policies and methods which put in focus actually the governance and also concentrate on the risk management. So you have to have a certain framework to ensure actually that we are running into the right direction when it comes to the financial services. Business partnering, I was emphasizing this. We would like to provide advisory services to our customers within the company and focus on the customer needs. Therefore, the business partnering is the second important role of the corporate finance in the future. The third, obviously, it's about production. It's about efficient and standardized processes to be able to deliver the finance services. And last but not least, of course, the data science, digitization. Obviously, we need to be careful with that one. And this is also one of the key roles of finance. I repeat once again, our target operating model is based on these 4 future roles of finance, which we believe will be relevant: governance, business partnering, production, and digital science or data science. What does it mean if I look at this future picture versus the current operation? Actually, it means that in some roles, in some areas, we have increased the importance of relevant units. For example, importance of the governance functions, or to leverage on synergies when we unite this or that unit together. We might further need to develop the business partnering functions and be more efficient when it comes to the production of certain services and new competencies. So obviously I cannot disclose the final future picture of the finance organization in Magyar Telekom, but the direction is very clear. We have to develop ourselves towards these 4 new roles, and that will require some changes in the finance governance area, in this business partnering function, and in particular in data science. Now, I would like to share a couple of words how we drive the project. And if we could kindly go to the next page. On the project operations, since I mentioned that we are operating in Magyar Telekom in the agile way, we also sort of rather pioneers and operating this big holistic finance transformation with the help of the agile methodology. And it is a fully sort of agile project and is operated with the help of 7 squads. These are the same 7 pillars which actually define our target operating model, and they are built on the 7 vision statements which I was already mentioning before. So this is how the project is working. We have the sprints which are delivering each 4 weeks the results, and the big difference and the way of operating this project like this versus sort of classical, which some of us really know by heart, this waterfall and the roadmap for the next 3 years. We don't have it, and I also needed to challenge myself not to expect it from the team, because that's the luxury of Agile. You do it in smaller pieces, but you always have tangible results rather quicker than in a classical waterfall approach. And now, allow me to share a couple of first tangible results of this project. Obviously, I cannot share all of them, but something which can be made already public on one hand, and on the other hand, what I'm extremely proud of, one of the first deliverables and achievements of the projects, which is actually presented on the next page. And it's namely about one of the streams, or in particular squads of the project, upskilling. You might remember I was just mentioning that in the future, couple of roles which are typical financial roles might disappear, but there will be a bigger necessity for other roles, other skills. And the Upskilling Squad has created a very comprehensive, detailed plan how we would like to upskill ourselves in the finance unit, what kind of tools we are going to use for that. We have also dedicated days from the beginning of May, in particular time slots, where we offer some trainings to the colleagues. And we decided, for example, to put quite a lot of emphasis when it comes to their communication skills, data science, visualization skills. And this is already up to running, and there is quite a big attention. And I'm also extremely proud that for trainings, we are not necessarily immediately thinking about using external companies who would obviously provide very good inputs, but we are also utilizing on the potential we have in the company. We have already a lot of great people with data visualization skills, with data science, who could also present their great communication skills. So it's actually leveraging the potential which we have in the company as well, because I think it also creates a very good momentum that people can be inspired from their colleagues who have upskilled themselves and who were developing themselves into this or that direction. So that would be it from my side. So summing up, I strongly believe that corporate functions, finance functions need to be changed because the world around us has changed. The speed is different. The requirement from customers' business units is increasing, and we have to put a lot of focus and attention into that one. And I'm extremely proud of what we have achieved already so far, and very much excited where will we land in 1 year from now.
Daria, thank you very much. We have some questions from the viewers. How do you see the gap between the as-is operation and the envisioned future one? Is it a completely new way of operation, or rather fine-tuning?
I think this is neither nor. This is not a completely new way. That's not a big revolution. And this is for sure also not only the fine-tuning. I think if we sort of shape the organization and mention 4 roles, this is what I said. I think in one of the roles, like data science, for example, I guess we will need quite a big change. A lot of new skills will be needed, and different mindset, and also data governance will be needed here. So here it will be quite a big change. When it comes to the production area, I think we're already very efficient here. This is a rather sort of small changes, adjusting the processes. So depending on the area, depending on the role we would like to involve too, the changes might be something between fine-tuning and revolutionary steps.
Okay. In which way does Agile help on the target operating model design?
I think it helped a lot, first of all, in terms of the mindset, meaning that we are not necessarily expecting already clear steps and plans for the next 3 years, which I brought an example, but we rather work with the so-called minimal viable product mindset and say, okay, in the next 4 weeks, we would like to reach that. This is for sure not the full picture and the sort of the whole, business case for transformation, but small steps which matter and which deliver quicker, tangible results. And when you have the quicker results, so practically speed is the answer, what was helping here, this is extremely motivating. And this is, I believe, one of the biggest achievements and help of the Agile methodology when it comes to the creating of the target operating model.
And the last question is, how did COVID change the role of the CFO organization and the entire design process? Did you have any new requirements to be considered due to the normal way of operation?
Well, since the question is about the role of the CFO, I think there are 2 aspects. The first, COVID pushed us to be even quicker in decision-making process, because you had to sometimes make decisions in 24 hours, reflecting on the changes, being a governmental announcement, being a request of providing, particular customers with that service. So practically from the finance perspective, you need to immediately calculate the impact. So COVID changed the speed of the decision-making process, and also changed the perspective towards digitization. So this is, I think, nothing particular different in the CFO area than in other areas. we all learned that we can do a lot from home, and we immediately realized where we have the waste, where we need to get rid of, because if you do the processes in a different manner, in a fully digital from the home office, some of the aspects of the processes became more clear where you need to improve yourself. So speed and digitalization are the changes which are coming from COVID when it comes to finance area.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and for the presentation.